What's up, YouTube? It's been a minute. So, on this episode on my fish channel here, a lot of people have been asking me questions about buying tanks, where to buy tanks, and I love answering questions. I'm happy to do that. So, but I thought if I did a video, it might help answer like a chunk of questions and be helpful and give me something to jabber on about while we show you my fish. So we'll start with gear, right? Tanks. So most of my tanks I buy at Rainbow Aquarium and Pond, or say PetSmart, or secondhand somewhere. So I'll try and go through, like this 240 I bought at Rainbow, and I believe it cost me $1,200. It's glass, and it's made by, I'll think of the name in a minute, because I got like 3 or 4 of these tanks. But it's a solid glass tank. And again, for a price range, this 240 was about $1,200. That 150, I want to say I paid $400, less than $400 for it. I have a 180 in the bedroom. I paid probably $600 for it. I don't know, somewhere in there, close to there. But they're good tanks. They're glass. They're thick. They have a huge glass brace on top, which you're probably not going to be able to see. But the glass brace goes from here. It's like a 2-foot glass brace. So it's a third of the tank almost. And they come with a 5-year warranty. So they're reasonably priced. They're local, so you can pick them up if you live near me. And yeah, the guys there are cool. So this is another one of those. Vizio is what it is, aquariums. And they're made in LA. Let's see, for these sumps I bought at Rainbow Aquarium and Pond also, I think I paid $360 out the door. And they're eShops sumps. They're acrylic. And then if you do go this route, you got to buy a pump. A pump is like $100 on Amazon. You got to buy a heater. I like these heaters. Have them in almost all my tanks. They're cheap on Amazon. And they have a temperature gauge. And they have an on and off light, so you know if it's running or not. And the bitching part about them is, if I can find it, they got an exterior, let's see, there's one right here. They have an exterior adjustment, so you just push the button and adjust the temperature up or down. Well, up, and it comes back around. They're cheap. You're gonna have to replace them every 2 years, but it's that or a flute, and they're like $30, or the Fluval ones are like $60, and they pretty much last forever. But you got to reach in tank to adjust them, and the readout's not as clear. I'm using K1 Media in here. You buy it on Amazon. It's not cheap, but it works good. And you don't ever have to clean the media, is the nice thing about it, and it looks cool. But the bitchin' thing about sumps is, as opposed to, I run FX6s, a lot of them. I have like 4 or 5 of these. These are awesome, the best canister you can get, like $350 on Amazon, something like that. Is all I got to do is pull this up, pull those socks out, put new socks in, go hose the socks out in the yard, and that's it. This thing, I gotta unhook, pick this big old 60-pound bastard up, drag it outside, completely disassemble it, keep the media from getting exposed to chlorine, rinse all the pads out, put it all back together, drag it back in here, crawl under there, plug it all in, fill it back up, turn it back on. These are bitchin', but, and this is $350, and reality is this is, after you buy everything, it's probably $500, and this pushes 1,000 gallons an hour. This pushes 3,000 gallons an hour. So sumps, the downfall with sumps is you either got to get your tank drilled like I did with this one. So I knew it was going on a sump, so I had them drill 1.5 inches and a 3/4 inch hole on either side, and just ran my basic plumbing. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but Home Depot pretty much had most of what I needed. And then if you don't drill your tank, you got to do a hang on back, whatever this is called. I can't think of the word, but I will in a minute. Basically, it pulls the water from the tank and siphons it into the sump. It's an overflow. So that's another, I think it was $200 maybe. So now we're up to 700 for the sump, right? So it's more expensive, but it pushes way more water. It's way easier to deal with, and you look like a mad scientist when you got one, like me. This is a big old air pump. I used to run sponges, but I need filtration because I don't want to be digging in these things every day. So, but anyways, I repurposed it to run the air for the K1. So there's big old air stones in the bottom here. That's how the K1 keeps moving. And if you don't have a lot of air with the K1, it ain't gonna move. Let's see. Tanks, filters, lights, right? So this light is a Current USA light, which they're sick. They're made in America and they're $150 to $300 a piece. And they have a remote control like this. So you can adjust the light, which is nice. Like in my bedroom, I have it on my nightstand, and you can program modes, like whatever night modes. You can do like a lightning storm. So they're sweet, but I think that light I paid $250 for, and that adds up quick. Or your other option is like a cheap Chinese light, like these ones. I mean, the lights are sick. The color is awesome, but you're gonna get a year, maybe two, out of these cheap Chinese lights. They're like $50 each. So it just depends. You want cheap, it's not gonna last, or you want expensive that's gonna last forever. If I were to put 4 of the USAs on here, I would have to spend $1,000 to light this big giant tank. So I'd rather spend $200 in that case. But I do throw them away a lot. Let's see, we got tanks, lights. So these big tanks I buy at Rainbow Aquarium. Smaller tanks you can just get at PetSmart. This is like a whatever, Top Fin or Greenland, and they're cheap. And a lot of times you can buy a kit that comes with everything: the light, the hood, the filters, heater, decorations, whatever. So if you're gonna start buying fish tanks, like this is a perfect one to start with. For like $300 you get everything. You got a 4-foot long fish tank that's 55 gallons, and then use it to find out if you like fish, if you're gonna keep fish or not. What else? So this was a used tank I bought on Craigslist. Oh, is my light on? Crazy. I need that on. From a lady for $700. This is actually an acrylic tank. It's made by a company called Clear for Life, and they're like $2,000. And then this lady's husband built the stand, or I think she bought it from a dude who built the stand and built the custom sump and the hood and all that. I bought it for $700, and I refurbished it, so I'm probably $2,000 total in it. So you can buy secondhand and do some work, or you can buy new. I think if you were to buy this tank new, you're probably like $5,000 for the stand, the canopy, the lights, the tank, the sump underneath. It has a huge 100-gallon sump under here. And then I just got a bunch of driftwood in there and sponges in case I need to start a tank. It's got huge 7-inch socks. Big old high-end. Got mouse traps in there. Exterior type pump, and then I have a backup one. So we won't even get into the water change system. I built that whole water change system, so water changes are everything's plumbed to it, but I'm not even going to get into that one. I'm just trying to make a video to answer like some basic. So fish, we get into fish. People asking me, most of my fish I bought from Cichlids of the Americas indirectly through other hobbyists. But if you're gonna buy high-end American cichlids, like I have Central American, South American cichlids, my recommendation first is Cichlids of the Americas, and then Max Cichlids, Tangled Up in Cichlids. Those 3 people will have what you want if you're looking for rare high-end cichlids, and they're reputable and they'll ship right to your door. Or Delta Cargo, where you go to the airport and pick the fish up. They're reasonably priced. And you're not going to get this kind of quality fish that you know the lineage from anywhere else, really. I mean, you can get them from hobbyists. Like, I got this doe wife through a hobbyist that had got him from his parents from Cichlids of the Americas. Same with this Umbi. I'm sorry, another one is Max Cichlids. I think, did I say that? Shit. Max Cichlids is out of Florida, and I got, basically, these are babies from Bredora I got from him. This is a Trimac that I got from him. And he'll ship it right to your door or to the airport, depending on the size of the fish, really. Or if I'm going to buy fish locally, I go to, again, Rainbow Aquarium, where I bought these fish, or these where I bought my tanks. And they have a pretty good selection of fish, but not this caliber of fish. Types of filters, right? So like I said, if I'm going to use a canister, it's going to be a Fluval. I'd prefer sumps. Sumps are a lot more expensive and a lot harder to set up, but in the long run, they're way easier to deal with. I got socks right here that need to go in the yard and get rinsed. Okay, another question is stands. So this is a stand that's custom made. You buy at, I bought at Rainbow Aquarium. They're wood, right? They're solid wood, and you can get pine, oak, maple, whatever you want. I just get pine because it's cheap, and it holds up fine. And then I got mine unstained, and I stained and lacquered it to match my furniture, so it matches all my cabinets and stuff. And you want to get a hood too, and the best kind of hood is this kind, because you don't have to take it off. See, it's split in the middle, and you can easily clean the tank without taking this big old bastard off. So it just sits up like that. And then you got full access to the whole tank. You could take these lids completely off, vacuum the tank, take everything out, put everything in. No problem. Let's see here. All my inside tanks are run on FX6s. Well, that's not true. Well, this was a Fluval, but it's a smaller one. So this tank, it's a 40 gallon, and I just made this myself. And again, stained it to match the furniture and stuff. This has a little canister filter on it. It's a Fluval 202. And when you get filtration, get a way bigger filter than you need. Why would you not? Okay, so as far as stands, that's a custom stand, and that stand probably cost $1,000, maybe $1,200 just for the bottom and the top. This stand is a PetSmart stand. I'll turn the light on, and they're made out of press board. It's all right. I mean, it works. It does its thing, but they start coming apart at the seams. You even spit on them, you get water near them, and they come apart. They're just not as well made. I covered all that up with a marker that was like bare press board, and the doors fall off and shit. So they do work, but they're not going to come with a canopy. So I had this canopy made custom, but at my local store, and they suck. Don't go to them. Three Little Fish or Crooks. And it's made out of press board again, so it doesn't hold up for shit. And the design is you got to lift the thing, and you can't even get in the tank except to feed. You sure as hell ain't cleaning like this. So then you got to take this whole 100-pound turd off when you want to clean the tank, which is just ridiculous. And it cost me $300 just for this. So you're better off. You know, it's like anything else. You get what you pay for. Custom. Matches the bed furniture. Nice canopy. Open. Clean the whole tank. Take the glass lids completely off, no problem. Expensive lights, so that's like $750 worth of lights. This was a custom background, semi-custom background from a company in Canada. It's made out of fiberglass. And it's amazing, but it was expensive. I think I paid $700 for that thing. This is a 180 gallon tank, again with the custom stand. FX6. Expensive lights. Cheap Chinese heater from Amazon that works. Adjusting the outside of the tank. So I covered, I think, all the gear. I'm sure I will remember something after this is over and be like, dope. But we'll cover some fish. Like, these are Mayo Heroes Benai. They're from southern Mexico, Central America, basically. And I got these from another hobbyist. His name's Chris Craig. You can get these at Cichlids of the Americas, shipped to your door. Super nice. Female, male, I believe 3 subdominant females. And then I bought the loaches local, I think at Pet Supreme or Rainbow. Same with the barbs, the Roseline barbs. And they got really nice plecos at, say, at Rainbow or Pet Supreme. You're not going to see, there's a super nice royal pleco in here, but you're not going to see it. So it's high-end cichlids from those guys, and then my dithers generally come from local most of the time. Like this fish came from Pet Supreme. No, Rainbow. Yeah, nice flagtail. Let's see. Red Ori from Max Cichlids. Super nice fish. Pair, male and female. Dithers. I actually bought these mail order from someplace in Florida. Rainbow. 3 little fish locally. 3 little fish. Pet Supreme, I think. And there's another red pleco in here that came from Rainbow. This fish is a really high-end flower horn that my friend I made on Facebook, local guy, bought from Thailand, I believe. And I'm pretty sure he paid $500 for this fish to be shipped directly from Thailand. I gave him $250 for it, which I think is a smoking deal. So yeah, fish can get super expensive, especially ornamental fish, flower horns. These other fish, you know, they range from 20 to 50, maybe $75 a piece, but you got to buy them young and you got to raise them. Like these Bredora I've had for going on 3 years. The big giant fish in the garage I've had going on 7 years. So when I got these fish 3 years ago, they were about this size right here. These are babies from them that I bred here, raised in my pond outside. Let's see. So you're gonna pay probably 20 to 40 bucks for a fish like this, and then have to raise it for 2 or 3 years to see what it's gonna look like. These are all babies from that Bredora, and there's also baby Dovi in here. So this is Parachromis Dovi. I got it from Billy Jack Canfield, and he got his pair from Cichlids of the America, Dan Sharifi. So, but I bought this fish at 2 inches, tiny, and I've had him for 6-7 years, and he's probably 16 or 18 inches, and he's just amazing. I got this guy from Max for I think $30. Yeah, and same. I only paid $25 for these fish when I got them, but I've had them forever. Same thing, $30, and I think I paid $75 to have them shipped to me, so maybe $100 total shipped from Florida. And I've had them for at least 2 years. this fish I bought from Brian Dahlberg, and I bought a group of like 8. And then I bought another group of 8 from him from a different lineage. She's sleeping. Excuse me, ma'am. Wake up from your nap, please. But these are Rio Magdalena Chronohero Sombriferum, they're called. Rio Magumbies. But I bought them from Brian, but I'm pretty sure they came from Mike, and they started out at Cichlids of the Americas as $25 fish. I pay $25 for them, but so most of these high-end fish come from Cichlids of the Americas. I'm like, you know, I've had this fish for 7 years. He's probably 20 or 22 inches, and he'll live, I don't know, 10 or 15 years and get up to maybe 28 inches. And this is easily a 10-pound fish. So you just gotta, but it's a big investment of time, and they're hard to keep alive. And these fish I got from Chris Craig, local guy, the guy I got the bean eye from, and I paid like $75 for this fish. It's an Islanum, red Islanum. So you can get fish from local guys. I've done that, but it's hard to find super serious people, and it's a lot of times it's easier just to buy from the bigger guys, from Dan. And this is a golden base flower horn that I bought from a guy on Facebook. He's like a small dealer. He imports fish from Thailand and Vietnam and sells them. I paid, I think, $250 for this fish shipped to my door. This I bought from a guy in Vietnam directly through my buddy Andre. And I want to say I paid $400 for this fish shipped to my door from Vietnam directly. So I think the fish was $300 and the shipping was $100. So yeah, these flower horns get super pricey, and they die easy. It's kind of backwards. These are super expensive and die, and the other ones are cheap and live forever. But if I were to have babies from these, we're looking at potentially $200 or $300 babies. I have babies from these, we're looking at $20 to $40 babies. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully I covered everything that I wanted to cover, and you guys find it useful. Like I said, I have a water change system that's plumbed to everything that makes my life so much easier. You see the insanity I have going here. And I did make a video on how this works. If you look on my YouTube channel, it's back a ways. I don't know what state it was in. This is a 20-gallon I keep just for a hospital tank. Just in case someone gets sick, I can plop them in there and dose them with meds. Oh, let's see, food. We'll talk about food for a minute. I use a variety of fish food, and I try and just buy high-end food and mix it together. So I use Extreme, Hikari BioGold, Aquamaster, sprinkle in some crazy overpriced flower horn food. Southern Delight fish food has been a good fish food for me for a long time. Northfin Bug Pro is awesome. So what I do is I pop this top open, pour some of this in there, and then I have a jar of like this with all of these mixed together, and I pour some in there, and so they get a variety of high-end food. Seems to be good. Sometimes I'll give them like krill treat, and then you gotta have medication on hand in case someone gets sick. Aquarium salts, antibiotics, test kit so you can see what is wrong with your tank, ammonia, nitrite, nitrates, pH level. Yeah, so there it is. If you're going to start out, buy a 55 from PetSmart. If you're going to buy a big one, go to a good shop like Rainbow. Something's the best you can get. A lot of stuff on Amazon is cheap. If you buy cheap, it don't last. If you buy expensive, it will last. All right, cool. Later.